honor God with your life, there is a blessing He puts on you that gives you an advantage. It causes you to rise up when circumstances are trying to push you down. You will recover from an illness when the experts said you wouldn't. You will accomplish dreams that looked impossible. It wasn't just your talent, your skill, determination. There is a force behind you fighting your battles, opening doors you couldn't open, bringing the right people. Those weren't just good breaks, that's the blessing on your life. The blessing will cause you to prosper when others are struggling. The blessing will bring promotion when you weren't next in line. The blessing will cause people to be good to you that don't even like you. The scripture says in Malachi, when we give our tithes and offerings, God will pour out a blessing that we don't have room to receive. It doesn't say blessings, plural. It says blessing, singular. When you have the blessing, then all kinds of blessings will come. You won't have room to receive all the good things God has in store. When you face difficulties, the medical report doesn't look good. You don't see how you could ever get out of debt, ever break the addiction. Ordinary people would complain. Ordinary people would be worried. Here's the key. You're not ordinary. You have the blessing. God's face is smiling on you. He's going before you right now, making crooked places straight, moving the wrong people out of the way, arranging things in your favor. When you know you have the blessing, you don't go around upset because people aren't treating you right, worried about your finances, frustrated over a child. You stay in peace knowing that it's just a matter of time before things change. You know God being for you is more than the world being against you. When you're tempted to be discouraged, think it's never going to work out, turn it around. Father, thank you for the blessing on my life. Thank you that you're breathing in my direction. Thank you that you're taking me where I could not go on my own. This is what David did. When he faced Goliath, in the natural, he didn't have a chance. Goliath was twice his size, had all kinds of training and experience. He was wearing a full set of armor. David didn't have any of that. He could have been intimidated, stayed in the shepherd's fields, complained, God, he's too big. But David understood this principle. He knew the blessing on his life gave him an advantage. He went out with a slingshot and a few stones and defeated Goliath. What you have may seem small compared to what you're up against, but a slingshot with the blessing is more powerful than a tank without it. Your talent may seem small compared to the dream God put in your heart, but that talent with the blessing will take you further than you can imagine. Now, don't discount yourself. Don't look at all the reasons why you can't be successful, why you can't purchase a house, why you can't break the addiction. On your own, it may not happen, but you're not on your own. There is a blessing on your life put there by the God who spoke worlds into existence. This blessing is not natural, it's supernatural. It will cause things to happen that you couldn't make happen. The blessing will cause opportunity to find you. Good breaks will chase you down. Promotion, healing, vindication. You don't have to go after them. The blessing will cause them to come to you. One Sunday morning, when my father was the pastor, I was in the TV production area. Right before service, I ran downstairs to see my father and put his microphone on. On my way back up, I was in a big hurry. As I came around a corner, this man was coming up. He stopped me and said, Joel, my cousin has a construction permit for the last full-power commercial television station in Houston. He wants you to be a part of it. There were hundreds of people in the lobby that day. If I would have been 10 seconds earlier, I would have missed him. If he would have caught one more red light on the way to church, our paths wouldn't have crossed. God had us at the right place at the right time. I wasn't looking for a television station, but a television station was looking for me. Was that a coincidence? A lucky break? No, that was the blessing on my life. I can't take credit for it. All I was doing was honoring God, being my best, and the opportunity found me. We put the station on the air. Several years later, sold it for a huge profit. Those funds were instrumental in us renovating this place, the former Compaq Center. God has the right breaks, the right people lined up for you. You don't have to live frustrated, trying to make things happen, worried that it's not going to work out. God is directing your steps. He's going to have you at the right place, at the right time, down to the split second. You are not going to miss what belongs to you. Opportunity is coming bigger than you've imagined. When we signed the contract for the television station, I was so excited. I never dreamed we'd own a station. I couldn't fathom anything bigger. I didn't realize that was just a step in what God wanted to do. As great as I thought it wasn't even the main thing. That was just the warm-up act. Being up here, owning the Compaq Center, speaking to a lot of people, this is far beyond what I ever dreamed. What am I saying? What you think is the ultimate blessing, God showing out in your life, can I tell you, you haven't seen anything yet. That is just a step in where God is taking you. There are levels that you have not even fathomed. Opportunities far beyond what you think. You may have seen God's goodness in the past. You can say like me that God's blessed you, but you haven't touched the surface of what God has in store. I was in India one time with my father. I met this young pastor that came from a very poor family. They didn't have running water or electricity. They lived out on this open field in a little hut. The man next door was very wealthy. He owned a huge farm, had thousands of cattle, many crops. He sold milk and vegetables to people in the village. But this man was very greedy. His prices were so high that most of the poor people couldn't afford anything. One day, about 10 of his cows got out and came over to the property where the pastor and his family lived. The man heard about it, had his workers come, get the cows, put them back in the fence. The next day, 10 more cows got out, came over to the pastor's property. This happened again and again and again. The owner got so frustrated, he finally told the pastor to just keep the cows. The pastor was so excited, he started selling milk and products to people in the village, but he sold them for less than the other man. Before long, people were lined up at his door. He was able to buy more cows. His business got so large that other man came and said, I can't compete with you. Why don't you take over my business? He purchased it for a fraction of the value. Today, this young pastor has a large business with several hundred employees. It all started when those cows came to his property and wouldn't leave. He couldn't have made that happen. That was the blessing on his life. God controls the universe. He knows how to have the cows find you. The good breaks, the property, the contracts, the businesses, they're going to come looking for you. Well, Joel, this is kind of far out. We serve a far out God. His blessing on your life is going to do far out things. After all, it's far out having church in the former Compaq Center. It's far out that my mom is still alive 37 years after being diagnosed with terminal cancer. It's far out for me to be up here in front of you, having no formal training. Get ready for some far out favor, far out blessings, far out opportunity, far out promotion. God said you won't have room to receive it. He's going to do things so amazing in your life that you have to pass it down to your children. You can't contain it all. Generational blessings are coming. Increase that goes to your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Businesses, contracts, real estate that continue to bless people long after you're gone.